What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Couple things I want to talk about today. First one being the fallout from the Xbox Games Showcase, Halo Infinite, and just how a meme of this ogre is taking the internet by storm. It's completely taken on a life of its own. And the other thing is a false rumor that's starting to circulate that Halo Infinite would somehow ship without multiplayer being ready. And this has already been confirmed to be false. So ignore any of the headlines and videos out there that are trying to clickbait you guys into finding out about Halo and why it's going to fail before it even launches. This was proven false, and I'm going to explain all the details in this video so that you know for a fact that Halo Infinite is just fine. So first off, this meme of this ogre that is taking on a life of its own, it's absolutely driving me insane for a couple of reasons. One, I feel like this is something that it's a single frame of a video of a pre-alpha game. It's not even ready for release. It's not being printed or anything like that. They're still full on working on Halo Infinite. They have 4+ months left to work on this game before it ships and launches. And there's still a lot of other things to work on in the background. Plus, there are rumors saying that this was not the current build. It was a previous build that they were using. So there's a lot of excuses, if you want to put it that way, for Microsoft to say, hey, not the final product. This is just a glimpse at what Halo Infinite is going to look like. And to be honest, when I watched the trailer, I didn't even notice that because, like I said, it was a single frame. And the haters out there, the people that just want to destroy and rag on Microsoft any chance they get, are taking this and blowing it completely out of proportion to make their point. And it's like, yeah, it doesn't look amazing, but literally, I can find you any game. You give me the time. Horizon West or Ratchet and Clank or anything on PlayStation or hell, anything on Xbox Series X or anything on PC. You give me a trailer, I will find a single frame of that makes the game not look next generation, not top quality, not as good as everything else because the frames are in motion and it gets blurry and the action isn't the way that it should be presented. And like literally the way the internet is acting right now, it's throwing a hissy fit. It's telling the companies, as much as we want to see more gameplay, that this is what happens. When they show gameplay early, that the internet just uses it to rag on them, to tear them apart, to make them look terrible. So it's just going to encourage pre-rendered videos that have just been combed over with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that there's no frames that could be questioned by the public. And they'd rather deal with the backlash of the public not seeing the game in action than dealing with the public seeing the game in action and exposing it for what it really is. So from the perspective of Microsoft in this case, I can see why they would hold off on showing footage for games going forward because gamers can't be trusted. Like, there are so many people putting their stakes in the ground right now on what they believe to be right and creating an entirely new console war and hating on Sony or hating on Microsoft or hating on PC or whatever it might be, hating on the Switch even if you want to throw that into the mix. But the console wars, people say they died out 10, 15, 20 years ago. They are coming back with a vengeance and the stakes have never been higher and people are looking for anything to make their standpoint valid while yours would not be. And I still stand by, I liked the Xbox Games presentation. I am getting rocked in my comments and getting nailed with dislike, bombarded with hate. And I'm like, why? All I did was make a video saying, I enjoyed the presentation. These games are for the gamers. They look fun. They look new. They look interesting. There's a little bit of retro and nostalgia with a lot of the games, and there's a little bit of new age stuff and original games and content that we were asking for. And it's just, I don't want to say the word entitled, but that's what it feels like right now. It feels like people are just being whiny. It's like these games are so good. They're so interesting. They're so unique. And if they're not for you, Okay, that's fine. But why do you have to rain on someone's parade if you don't like it? If you think it was trash, if you think it was crappy, great. Go play whatever games you want to. I don't get the mentality of just being negative. I thought it was funny too, because a lot of people out there, believe it or not, this is the way I'm perceiving it, are viewing other YouTubers, more prominent, more popular YouTubers, and just taking their word as gospel, and they're spitting the truth, and what they say is the reality, and anybody that says anything different is wrong. When in this case, I feel like a lot of prominent YouTubers got it wrong. The Xbox presentation was what gamers have been asking for the longest time, and I am doubling down on my stance. I am not going to back off from it just because people say, oh no, look at how bad Halo looked. It looked fine. Did it look like the best game ever? No. Did Horizon West whatever look better? Yeah, it looked a lot better. Does that make me not want to play Halo though? No. Does it make me think twice about investing in an Xbox Series X if I can play what amounts to basically the same game on my current Xbox? A little bit. And that's a conversation for another day. But the more I think about it, I will touch on that real quick. It's kind of like, do you need a 4K TV if your current TV is fine? Like, yeah, it's the same conversation. The differences are there. They're apparent, but you don't need it. You don't have to have it. It's not an absolute necessity to upgrade to these consoles. But if you want the greatest, latest, finest that Microsoft or these game companies have to offer, it's available to you. So I don't understand why people are so angry and frustrated and whiny about a new slew of games coming from mostly Microsoft. We found out afterwards that some of these games they talked about are going multi-platform, and that's great for the gamers. Like, I'm not hating. I don't know if it's coming across in this video, but I am not hating on these companies, and I'm not hating on gamers. I'm just saying, let's all take a step back. Let's enjoy the games and let's play them. Let's not get so angry about these titles if you're not going to play them, if you don't care about them. I know for a fact, most people, not all, it's never all, there's always exceptions to the rule, but most people who are Halo purists that love Halo are perfectly fine with what Halo Infinite had to show graphically, because the games are in line with what the other Halo game graphic styles are. It looks like a minor improvement from what the previous Halo games were. That's all I was looking for. I don't want crazy, insane, cutting-edge stuff. I want to feel like I'm in the same world of Halo that I grew up with. I have an odd nostalgia for the style of Halo graphics that are unique in a way. And maybe that sounds like I'm making excuses for it, but it's the truth. Like, Halo has its own unique style of graphics, and they are improving. They are better, but they're not going to be on par with something that's a different graphical style that's going for complete realism, like Uncharted or Horizon or a game like that. It's totally different. It's apples to oranges. And Halo, ultimately, at its core, comes down to the gameplay and the fun you have while playing it, not necessarily the graphics involved with it. Do I want to have great graphics? Sure, I'll take it, but I'll take a fun gameplay experience over graphics any day of the week. And the Xbox marketing GM Aaron Greenberg already responded to the criticism, saying that the game isn't ready yet and we're in the middle of a pandemic. So yeah, it's not going to be perfect right now. In an interview with Inside Gaming, Xbox marketing GM Aaron Greenberg responded to the criticism about Infinite graphics, saying, "Listen, we're in the middle of a global pandemic. It's July. We're far from launch and holiday. You're seeing a work-in-progress game." He continued by saying the stream itself may be part of the response. It's very hard to show the full power and graphical fidelity of what the Xbox Series X will be able to deliver for you over a stream. Go back and look at it in 4K 60, referring to the fact that the stream was delivered live in 1080p, but the gameplay premiere can be viewed in 4K 60 frames per second on the Halo YouTube channel. So it's a combination of a couple of things. One, yeah, we're in the middle of a pandemic. And two, the stream was junk. So of course it looked worse than what it would look like on a 4K TV with the Xbox One Series X. Like, this kind of stuff is pretty obvious to someone who understands how technology works. But the general layperson public out there that just want to hate on Halo because it's trendy right now doesn't really see the bigger picture at play here. Anyways, back to this leak on the multiplayer with Halo not launching with it.
The other big thing, we didn't see any multiplayer. Now, one source is telling me, and this is only one source, so I can't absolutely scream it from the higher tops, but they've been pretty decent in the past. One source is saying that multiplayer is not going to be shipping with single player this fall. Take that for, put that in your back pocket, and we may not be seeing multiplayer yet. Still poking around to get all the details on that, but just keep that in mind.
That was Brad Sams, and that's where the rumor started circulating that Halo Infinite would somehow launch without multiplayer being ready, and that it would maybe be patched in afterwards. And it got the internet going up in flames. People were starting to pile on even more on Halo Infinite, and I'm like, why is everyone so quick to invent things wrong with this game just to get mad at it? That is not the case. This is a false narrative being pushed forward, and people who are making the clickbait videos, the headlines just to get your attention, and not giving you the full story are only giving you the information to make Halo Infinite look bad, because it's not. We had Brian Jarrard, the community director at 343 Studios, already respond to the tweet that was pushed forward by Nibellion saying, "Nothing to see here, folks. This is not true." Brian Jarrard, the Halo community director at 343 Industries, I think I would take his word for that, saying that this is not the case. Halo Infinite will be launching with the multiplayer attached to it. There is nothing to see here. There are no clickbait headlines that you guys need to be believing and falling for. Nothing is actually wrong with Halo Infinite. 5+ years of work has gone into making this game as good as possible, coming from 343 Industries, and people need to calm down and relax and wait, have some patience. And when the game comes out, maybe the demo will come out this weekend. I'm hearing some rumors of that. We'll see. But whenever the demo comes out, if it comes out early, play it, have fun with it, make up your mind at that point. And when the game actually launches this holiday, enjoy it. Relax, have some fun with your gaming. Stop getting so caught up in looking for reasons to get mad at these things. It makes me wonder why people even game in the first place. Do they even enjoy gaming, or do they just like ragging on the games that are coming out? Is that the new trend in 2020? Just to hate on what's happening? It drives me absolutely insane. Anyways, I'm going to leave the video right there. Let me know what you guys think about Halo Infinite, if you're still on board with it, or if you're one of those haters of the game for whatever reason. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing. What? Can I go swimming? Yes or no?
No. The game will let you, but I think I know a glitch to do it. What the?